For those who have never heard of this game, think back to Nick Arcade. The one game that has never been played, and probably for no apparent reason why it never been played. So yeah. This is one of those running gun type of games. Reminds me of another game I've heard of. Had the same type of feel to it. It's amazing how well you can actually just simply go through a game like this and simply just go through a lot of crap. I do feel like in the coming years to come, or the years to come, why am I saying the coming years to come? It's going to be like this. If it hasn't been like that already, the future is going to have flying cars in which we all have Vulcan ships and shit. You know, Vulcan guns and whatnot. Yes, we're going to have Vulcan guns in the future. That I promise you. Nice. It's kind of funny how being an LPer has changed my whole life. It's like the games I'm playing, you know, most people are saying, well, how come I never heard of this before? I think it's good to educate those who don't really know anything about video games. Or even if they do, they never heard of such games as these. I remember playing this. I remember seeing this on Nick Arcade, though. And I kind of find that just sad because there are certain games on that show that just seemed playable at the time. Yeah, as I was saying before, being an LP really did change my life. Because really, at the time when I was practically new to YouTube, all I did was watch videos anyway. Never really found my calling until 4 years after. I guess because I've been watching video games for quite some time, I figured, well, why don't I try my hand at it? Yet little did I know that the more I kept doing this, the more people would seem to be interested in me. I know such people that I honestly deem them as like the most coolest people I've ever met. And some of them just, well, if not some of them, I find them to be like not only pretty cool, but you know, I deem them my best friends. Well, first off, I like to say my partner. My partner, SheenaMarieBach, she is a really great gamer. I mean, I've known her for about, what, maybe a year or so? Aside from doing random co-op, I'm usually doing some really absurd games that I never heard of. I remember the first request she ever had was Barbie. I know many people have done a Barbie game. I know many LPers have done a Barbie game. Me, I've only done one, and I think that will stay right there. And because I've done one, the only other request I've ever done was Super Mario RPG, aka Superstar Saga. Oh my goodness. I'm being attacked by controller buttons? Really, I'm being attacked by controller buttons. Who knew controller buttons could kill? But yeah, I've had very few requests. Some memorable, some not so memorable. I remember I did the Sonic feature, which I did only Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and part of Sonic 3. And some games that I just, you know, just seem to forget because I'm like that. I kind of like to go a little bit into the future. Just constantly continue doing games. Question is, will I ever come back to those games? Yeah. There are only 3 games that I've just stopped doing. One is Road Avenger. Two is Frankenstein. And 3 is, well, Sonic 3. I remember I did that for June, and this is before I was supposed to take my break. And the only reason why I did it was because, well, it was a feature I did. That, and it was to celebrate Sonic Generations. So what I'll probably do is I might do what is considered a comeback LP. Yeah. I killed my right D-pad. Therefore, I'm using analog. At least until I get a new one. A new D-pad. It has this F-Zero feel to it, but, you know. Which I don't mind. I guess I can say I'm one of those LPers that actually like to progress as much as possible, but not forget the games I'm doing. But really, LPing has changed my life because it gives me a sense of purpose. Plus, I like showing off games that, well, hardly have seen the light of day. I think it's the only kind of comfort that I can actually get and, you know, not focus on what happened to me during the day. Because as I mentioned in my last game, my life is that of a lot of pressure. Especially that outside of LPing, I'm a writer. So that instantly means, ugh. A lot of supply and demand. It does have an F-Zero feel. I can probably say it does have an F-Zero feel to it. What I find funny about this game is the music is so soothing because of being a driver shoot 'em up. However, like I said, outside my life, it's very much supply and demand. And I've mentioned one of my YouTube friends that I talk to on a daily basis. Another one I talk to on a daily basis is Ryu from Breath of Fire. Or Breath of Fire. However you say it, I talk to him on a daily basis as well. And I have to say, he is one of the nicest people I've ever met. And come to think of it, I remember I read one of his messages on my Splatterhouse Let's Play. And yes, that is how you learn. I do games my way because why not? I remember when I first started LPing, or actually did a walkthrough, I got some stupid ass comment about, you know, you're supposed to talk and play. So, well, back in the day, you know, I said, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm playing it just because I'm playing it. If I call it Let's Play, I just call it Let's Play, so therefore, it doesn't really matter. Another one of my friends I hear from in a blue moon would happen to be UpstartDJ. And I remember when he started doing a No More Heroes Let's Play, I gave him a few pointers about a few things. He called me a friend ever since. Which I'd say, he does some pretty good work. I mean, as far as Pokemon Let's Plays go, he's very detailed in his work. As far as Let's Plays go, he's very detailed. I like people who just, you know, are very detailed in their work. So ever since then, you know, he subbed to me and, you know, it's, every time I read something from him, it's always awesome. So whether it's on my channel or it's just on one of my, on the very few videos I have, you know, just hearing some words of encouragement, that's basically the kind of thing I need in my life. I mean, really, it's one of those things that I need in my life, especially now. Another person I remember a lot was is Vice the Determined. I remember he always, I believe he was always a man of action. Always the man of action. Always showing off the very obscure in every other game that I haven't seen. And they're mainly on PC or every other known console that I have or have not heard of. Because there are plenty of games that I've not played. Like, I never heard of PC 98 till now. The Super Graphics, I never heard of that either. There's so many consoles I've never heard of, so just for me, I'm like, wow. I feel pretty educated now. Feel very educated. Because there's a lot that really hasn't been seen here in California. And in some places that I go to here in California, they actually carry some very old but unique stuff. I mean, sometimes when I'm in the West LA area, it's like that. I find a few little nooks and crannies because if I look hard enough, I can see something like that. You know, some kind of game store in which sell these old games I've never heard of and old consoles that I may have heard of but I never own in my personal collection. So with that, you know, I had to say thank you, Vice. You actually made me a little bit more smarter in my gamer heritage. Another person I had to say that has been very enjoyable to watch is, of course, BigPhattyPlus. I mean, there are some games that I've probably heard of, but never tried because at the time I just only had... At the time, just a PlayStation 2 and a Wii, and I think that was pretty early. Because I didn't have a 360 at the time. And the one thing that I remember so much about the games he does is he always applies some type of humor to him. And even in his vlogs, there is a bit of humor in his vlogs, and I can understand how it is with the lifestyle he leads. I mean, I'm a writer outside of all that, so I do community service work. And sometimes the hours that I do, they're quite crazy. I mean, when I was doing community service work, they were crazy. Because the thing was, I used to be a school teacher. Well, it started off being I taught poetry, and this is when I got back from Japan. I just started teaching poetry to a first grade class. And as the year changed, I kind of changed, but you know, in a good way. And I've done it for 5 years. Well, until I started making my book, then I just then I was just relieved of duty. See, I was teaching not only poetry, but basic Japanese. So, I mean, I could deal with kids. Because I understood how little kids are, and they just want to... They were just, you know, being kids. So I didn't mind. So I was in with the public service, you know. But the thing was, I was never paid. But it would have been nice if I was paid, though. Well, like I said, I can kind of understand, because I used to be in the I used to be in that sort of field. Another person I started watching as of late is MrGeeWhoa. Considering that he does some dandy work on his LPs. He leads quite a life, and I kind of envy that. Of course, I don't feel like working at GameStop, but I mean, just to go out on the weekends, that'd be great. I mean, I'm hoping to actually go out this weekend, really. But I need at least one day, you know. Just one good day just to be by myself. I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, just for me, I love to actually get out every once in a while, have some friends. Sadly, my life just don't have friends. I mean, the people I mentioned on this, on my channel, yes, I deemed them my best friends. And yes, I even deem 40 Warrior one of my friends. And it's surprising how one simple matter of importance can actually bring so many people together. I mean, really, it's just amazing. It's like, as far as how many people just didn't like SOPA, I've never been so involved in the government since then. I mean, really, I've never been so involved in the government since then. But then the thing is, I've always been a writer at heart, so I usually just write to companies about what I don't like about them and what I do like about them. Because, you know, what I like and what I don't like actually matters. It's amazing that after one whole year, after being into LPing for about 1 year, it can change your whole perspective of things. It changed my perspective of things in a different way because I get to express them in a way that is outside of writing. And I don't know why my folks call it a radio show. I don't think it's a radio show. If it was a radio show, I don't think I would ever be heard. But yeah, the people I mention are the people I find the most with redeeming qualities. I mean, that's the reason why I call my channel Underrated Games. It's because I like showing off the games that just don't get that kind of importance that they should. Now you're probably wondering about future Let's Plays. Yeah. I still plan on doing some Xbox 360 Let's Plays in the near future, as well as Wii Let's Plays and PS2 Let's Plays and PS1 Let's Plays. And I will find a way. Because I am the Tenkaichi of gaming, I always find a way to actually show the best in redeeming qualities of video games. Whether they are good or bad. So what I will probably do after all this is vent. Yeah, if I haven't vented, I really should. But yeah, it just had to be said, you know, people who have supported me, who are on my list anyway, even I find Magma WK streams just to be quite enjoyable. That's really, why not? I mean, the thing about us gamers is, well, we might not be. We might not be as popular as other people, but when push comes to shove, and something's wrong, we're going to have a say about it. And I almost forgot about one person on my list that kind of puts me in the mind of why I had a Texas Instruments to begin with. It's my good buddy HRGO. Hi, Retro Game Lord. Yes, Retro, yeah, you remind me of why I had a Texas Instruments to begin with. Because some of the games I had, well, the only computer I had at the time was a Texas Instruments. I knew of the Apple, though, because of school. We had a school computer, well, a class computer, and it was the Apple IIc. And mind you, back then in the 80s, you know, I was a kid. I think I was still in first grade or something. First or second grade, I can't remember. I think it was first grade. And the only thing I had at the time was a Texas Instruments computer. A T1000, I believe. TI-1000. Yeah, I had a T1000. Yeah, I am so badass. No, I actually had a TI-1000. And as I mentioned, I was the runt out of 3 supposed children. I'm the one who made it out. Kind of considering what would have happened if there were three of us. If there were just 3, you know, of us, like me and my brothers. Yes, I was supposed to be having 3 brothers. Or actually, I was supposed to be the 3rd. Seeing as I was the youngest. I guess in my family, I am the only person in my family to actually become an author. My mom at one point did write, but she never made any books or anything like that. I'm the first in my family to actually make a book. Why is it always a brain behind everything? Get away from me, you star baby! You nasty looking thing, you. But yeah, as this year comes to a close and another begins, I'm looking forward to my 2nd year of LPing. So I'm hoping that you guys look forward to seeing more of my videos. So with that, since it is New Year's Eve, let me be the first to say Happy New Year. I am looking forward to another round of LP madness. Other games included, yeah. I think they speak for themselves. So with that, that's all I'm gonna say. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all the people that I mentioned for being there. For being there, commenting and replying and everything else in between that. I am so glad I met you all. Really, I am so glad I met you all, and I'll never forget you guys. And I'm looking forward to 2012. Really, I am looking forward to 2012, 2013, and all the rest of them years. Because the legacy of the Tenkaichi is going strong, and it will remain as thus. So with that, you just saw Hyperzone and my last... Yes, my last Tenkaichi file for this whole year. So with that, Happy New Year, all. Oh yeah, there's one more person I forgot to mention. And he's probably looking at this right now. He's probably saying, why didn't you mention me? Serraxor, yeah. Your CD's badass, and I hope you really do enjoy this. I know you love shooters. So with that, once again, thank you so much for all your continued support, and I look forward to seeing you in 2012. So that for that, I have been the Tenkaichi of Gaming, Pookie Izzy 7, and this was the Hyperzone. See you around.